These are my top 10 recommendations for Costa Rica. And now y'all see the new mic. Just to preface, when I was in Costa Rica, I was there for a week, and I went to La Fortuna, Monteverde, and Jaco Beach. Number 10, Monteverde Waterfall. This is, of course, in Monteverde, which is a cloud forest in Costa Rica, and it's a waterfall. It's a nice, short, but slightly steep hike down to the waterfall and back, so it's an out and back hike. It probably took us about 45 minutes to an hour total. Just because we walked down to the waterfall and then took pictures and stuff and walked back up. In the summer and warmer months, you can swim in the waterfall, but waterfall water is cold, so make sure you go on the hottest day. I wasn't gonna. Number 9, the Monteverde Cloud Forest. This was so cool because it was my first time experiencing a cloud forest. So it was crazy just to feel the moisture and to look out in front of you and see nothing but white. That had me shook. Like, it looks like it's just white, but you know there's mountains and cliffs under you. It's literally looking off into the unknown. But there's different trails you can take. They also have a parking lot, and then the shuttle will take you up to the actual forest part. But some people drove up and parked on the street as well. So you could do either option. And they have a lot of different hikes for you to try for different experience levels. So there can be something done for everyone. 8, hike at Mirador El Silencio. I find it funny how I'm putting all the hikes at the latter parts of my favorites. I loved them, but this is why this is number 8. So here you get to hike around and have nice views of Volcan Arenal, which is in La Fortuna. It was kind of hard. Like with the cloud forest, there's different hikes that you can do. So it's not like we chose a really rigorous one. The whole reason I wanted to go here is because I wanted to hike the lava trail. Fun fact about me, I have a slight obsession with volcanoes. I just had to walk the lava trail. It's where the lava flowed during the big eruption they had in the 19-somethings. I'll put a picture. Getting up to this point, lots of steep stairs, and then the closer and further we got along the lava trail, the more challenging it got. So lots of breaks were taken. So if you do plan on doing this, I feel like the earlier you go, the better. 7, Místico Park Hanging Bridges. This is also in La Fortuna. I'm sure you've seen it if you've been researching things to do in Costa Rica, because it's literally a park with hanging bridges and regular bridges that gives you the opportunity to walk through the rainforest, which was awesome. It has great rainforest views, great views of the volcano, and you can see different wildlife. What I appreciated most was the employees would monitor how many people can go on the hanging bridges at once, because when you look down, you do realize that there's a whole lot of the unknown there. 6, see the monkeys in Jaco. I went to Jaco Beach for the last leg of the Costa Rica trip. On the way to Jaco and in Jaco, there's a lot of areas where you can see monkeys in their habitats, and it was just so cute to see them and hear their little noises. Number 5, zip lining. I feel like zip lining is a must in Costa Rica because of all the greenery, all the forests. So I definitely wanted to zip line, even though I always feel nervous right before I go. And it felt so special because it wasn't like pouring, but it slightly started to rain as we were zip lining. And I was like, wow, I'm really zip lining while it's raining in the rainforest. One thing to note is zip lining, especially in Costa Rica and types of places that have all these nice foresty areas can be a little expensive, so it's important to make sure that you really research and find a deal that is worth it. Our ziplining experience, it had the zipline and access to hot springs afterwards, and there were like other add-ons that you could do while you were ziplining. So I felt like that was the best deal for the price, because it wasn't that expensive for one, and then two, it came with an additional thing, which I'm gonna always find a deal, you know. Number 4, Jaco Beach. When you think of a beach town, that's what I think of, like all the good vibes, nice ocean, good food, lots of maracuyas, because that's my favorite right there. But I loved Jaco Beach. It was the perfect way to end my trip in Costa Rica, because in La Fortuna and Monteverde, I was doing a lot of like active, crazy, adventurous things, and Jaco allowed me to really unwind. Jaco is known for being the surfers' beach, like where all the surfers go, and when I was researching, I'm like, okay, cool, but what does that have to do with me? Like, how is that different? When I tell you, those waves were fighting me, and I was not able to fight back, because back to back to back to back to back. You know, when you go to the beach and you can sit in the ocean to where your legs are comfortably covered by water, and you're so far up that you're not getting smashed by waves every time the tide rolls up. You had to like sit far back on the shore for that to happen. It gets rough. It's fun. Like, it's fun being tossed around. It's also fun seeing the surfers surf, but don't think you're gonna go out there and relax. Relax on the sand. You can't relax in the water. Number 3, horseback riding. I was petrified, like, before we started. I was just scared that there's so many things that can go wrong. I also didn't want a huge horse, because I'm not trying to be up that high. So anywho, I pushed myself through it, and they introduced me to my horse. His name was Romeo, and as soon as I got on him, we were best friends. I was petting him and talking to him the whole time to relax myself. So there was a rainbow, and we rode off into the sunset. So it was a great experience. Even though I was scared at first, it ended up being my favorite thing that we did while I was in Monteverde. That's why you have to push yourself and be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Try something new, because you never know what might come of it. Number 2, while you are in La Fortuna, you need to make sure that you go to a natural hot springs. There's a lot of hot springs in La Fortuna, and I was able to go to a natural one and then a man-made one. I hands down prefer the natural ones, because the water is like a lot hotter and it just feels natural. Like it feels better. It feels right. It doesn't feel like you're in a hot pool. It feels like you're within the elements of the earth. I went to the one called El Choyin, and I did it after the El Silencio hike, and oh my gosh, my body needed it. I was in there for like 2 hours, and it felt perfect. The only thing I wish I had were snacks, and I saw people there with like just living their best life. So if you want to go and you feel like you're going to spend a long time there and you really want to unwind and relax, bring some snacks and like a waterproof bag. Number 1. If you know me, you probably already know what this number 1 is going to be. My number 1 is to go sloth watching while you are in La Fortuna. Such a must. I mean, you could probably go sloth watching anywhere in Costa Rica, because sloths just love it there. That's honestly one of the main reasons why I wanted to go to Costa Rica, because sloths are my favorite animal and I wanted to see them in real life. So we made sure to book a sloth watching tour. It exceeded my expectations. The footage, as you can see, is amazing. We got to see so many other animals as well. 10 out of 10 experience. They are a bit more expensive, but 100% worth it. As you can probably see, I loved Costa Rica. It was one of my favorite travel destinations by far. So if you're thinking of going or hesitant, I say go for it because you're going to love it as well. Stay tuned for next week.